One. We're
And
live.
the drum roll as can feel the energy moving up as we are now live. You're live in my backyard. And where are you, Natalie Kent?
I'm live coming to you from Alice Springs in the centre of Australia. Yes.
Ah, perfect place. Perfect place.
Mm-hmm.
So, how are you this morning?
Words to describe how I am. I feel lively.
Yeah.
That's the only word that comes to mind. I've actually just walked up a big, well, there's no mountains in the desert, but there's big hills, and so all the hills are basically a stack of boulders. So I've just gone up to the top, got the world view for a minute, and then come down again. So I feel high from that.
So what's your motivation for being in the desert?
It was a calling. My life seems to just be a series of callings now, I've noticed. It's like called to one thing, to the next, to the next. So I've gotten used to what a calling feels and looks like. So I just got on a plane, got a one-way ticket, and here I am in the desert.
Yeah, awesome. I love that.
Mm-hmm.
I love that. I must say, since I've had the presence of, or the blessing to become closer to you, I'm starting to understand the impact of the morphogenic field of what we create together. And I find it absolutely fascinating because I've got sort of 8 years of experience being a psychosomatic teacher, understanding that you have the similar education in that field and then the way that you have transformed that and then what that's opening up for me. And I wanted to somehow guide into that because what I really want to know about is you're teaching me about lava, which in the past freaked the shit out of me personally inside. And every time you lava me, I go, ooh, there it is again. But I'm not afraid of it anymore because I understand it. And I go, okay, Shakti's coming. I'm opening something to create. Don't be afraid. Don't fly off my head. Just feel it. So, Natalie, explain this phenomenon.
Oh, God. The phenomenon of lava. Well, so for those out there who don't know what the hell we're talking about, lava is one of the 12 creator types, which is all based on 12 different body types and energy patterns that I observed in the bodies that I was working with and through various avenues in my life over the last 12 years. And they all reflect states in nature. So lava is one of my primary types. And lava is the initiator. A lava is the first of all 12 types to initiate growth, the entire growth cycle. So lava is intense, a very intense person, lava creator. And they, if they're in their creative power, they are constantly moving and burning a path forward, and they're initiating everyone in their environment along that path. So they are the pioneers in a way. They're here to crack the surface of what doesn't serve anymore, and so they live with resistance and they come up against resistance. They're confronters. They're always sort of on that edge of change. And so it's funny that, people are often triggered by lava because that's actually how it's supposed to be, because it's changing what no longer serves. So in your body, for you, Bianca, because you're a lake creator, it boils your lake right from the base of the lake. That can be quite uncomfortable because the lake's used to being placid and cool and calm.
It's like, what's so funny is that in the past I would have gone, nah, don't want to be friends. Yeah. Not going to, not even going into the understanding. I'd psychosomatic and I'd go into this high level of compassion and higher understanding. But as soon as you described your nature type, what do you call them? Creator type to me. I went, oh my God, that's the reflection I need to feel. And all of a sudden it wasn't like I was blocking it out. It was like, no, I can put my toe in here. I can get my feet wet and I want to feel this. And I'm opening to you now because I'm not afraid of you. Yeah?
Cool.
Not scary anymore. One thing that came to me this morning, because I had a chat with Priscilla, and Priscilla shared, as Priscilla shares, quite deep things about herself. And
I know what that means. Yeah, Priscilla, if you're watching.
Yeah. And so when I got off the call, I had this enormous amount of pressure come through my body, and it was my throat went all sore, almost like tonsillitis. I had tonsillitis for about 2 minutes. I went, oh my God, what do I do with all of this? So I quickly went for a walk. So explain to me, because she was very passionate about what she was sharing. It came from the depth and it came up. Explain to me her creator type.
Oh, I love her creator type. So Priscilla is a soil lake creator. So people have two primary types, which kind of give a flavor to each of the types. If you look at, for me, I'm a lava tree. So it gives a flavor to the type of lava I am and the type of tree I am. So Priscilla's a lake soil. So what I've observed with Priscilla over the years is that when something lands for her, when it's filtered down through that water system and through the granules of the soil, it is rock solid. And that's when she connects to her fire. But that filtering process takes time. She's often it's almost like, and this is the thing with soil. Soil almost has the final say out of all the types, because once it lands on Earth, it's solid. So the opposite of lava, of course, which is to unearth everything and break everything down. So it's the other end of that, which is soil. It's like everything's solidified.
Yeah. So, Nat, how does this then relate for our viewers? Body types, because all we can see is our faces right now. So describe your body type compared to mine and Priscilla's, and then we'll go to Jillian because she's...
Cool. All right. So my body type is, so the primary thing you're looking for with a lava type is a pinch around the waist. So small rib cage versus the hips. And so this is not about tissue. This is about bone structure. So there has to be that kind of dip inwards around the hips. And that's what churns the fire in the belly before it comes up. So with someone with a lava type body, that fire stays in the belly longer than any other type. So that's where the alchemy happens, and that's why they're here to realign the landscape. So that's my type. Your Priscilla you and Priscilla have lake in common, so you also have lake. And so lake is all about having this beautiful reservoir in the pelvis, which is the base of the lake, that it's a container for the water and holds people. So people feel very safe and like they feel like home around a lake creator. And then at the same time, they have that mirrored in the upper body. So in the chest, in the rib cage, it matches that reservoir. So it's nice and open at the top. And generally there's a lot of breast tissue as well, or tissue in men as well. So that's a lake creator. Soil, on the other hand, which is Jillian and Priscilla. So soil is all about solidity. So you'll see that most of all the energy flow is heading down in the body, directing towards the earth. So you'll have sort of larger feet with good earth contact, so good surface area contact with the earth, and usually quite solid legs too, but uniform from top to bottom, fairly uniform in terms of their structure and solidity in the body. So yeah, you're looking at the physical characteristics, but also the direction of energy flow. So for example, a whirlwind creator doesn't create in a direct fashion, it actually creates in a circular motion.
Yeah.
So yeah,
it's quite, oh my God, it just gets my mind so excited at the possibilities. And I mean, when I look at behavioral psychology and organizational structure and business, I mean, if we understood how somebody operates in relation to their creator type or nature, all of a sudden we'd have a softness and more compassion for that person, because we'd understand that, oh, but they can't look at it that way, or they can't feel it that way. They're not designed to. And so people could then be in positions that they were wholly comfortable in, which would make more peace. Yeah. So we're having yes, we've formed this collective. Let me start with that. What's my question around that? Thank you, Birdie.
I want to say, while you're thinking of that question, that you raised something really interesting, which goes to the crux of the creator types for me, and really the future of where it's going, is that if you didn't understand my nature, you probably wouldn't be friends with me. You wouldn't resonate. You would sort of go, oh, that feels uncomfortable, so no. It's a no from me. And that's what I've seen demonstrated with the creator types, is it actually allows any types of creators to come together and appreciate each other's natures. And that is super, super powerful, especially, you know, what we're moving into in humanity is all co-creation. So we have to understand, as you say, you know, what happens when lake and lava come together. What is that what did you say? What morphogenic field that is created? Yeah.
And I love that you've brought that up, because I had a client yesterday and I referred your name, and because I just connected with what she was saying and where she was going, and she was having lots of callings to spend time on the land and travel Australia. And I said, you need to connect with Natalie. And she said, I've heard of her name before. And she said, but I connected in and there was a lot of words. It was a lot of high frequency. And she said, and I just wasn't ready. And so she came back, and I looked at her type, and I went, I know why she's not ready, because it's like, you're fast, you're lava, you're going to crack like the areas that perhaps people are not ready to go into. And then I connected with it, and I thought, it's all divine timing. It's all divine timing of when connections can occur. Like in the past, I mean, we've known each other, I don't know, 4 or 5 years. We've known about each other, but we haven't actually connected. And then at Herman's funeral, we connected, and I felt you in a different light, but you were able to also feel me in a different light, because we'd evolved in our way. And yeah, there's lots to be said about that. I think it takes judgment out of the equation, because you're not judging the person from the narrow-minded perspective of what your lens is. All of a sudden your lens opens, and we don't judge nature.
No.
We accept nature. We accept tsunamis and earthquakes and volcanic eruptions. So
I like how you explain it too, which is you know, feeling the other person, and there's no judgment in that. You're feeling their nature. It's a very different way of relating.
Yeah, of course, because we're out of the mind. We're in the emotional now, which takes us more into one.
Yeah.
And oneness. And I think today is, I thought it was International Women's Day, but that's me making everything bigger than what it is. It's Australian Women's Day, so yay to Australian Women's Day. Which brought me to the fact that, I mean, the collective is formed to be for women, core women. In your heart, what has drawn you to this? I want to open up the conversation around the collective.
What drew me to this? Well, I've been banging on about co-creation for years and had dabbled in it quite a lot, and learnt a lot from it. I've done various ventures with other people, other colleagues of mine in business, and, you know, I've known since the creator types were conceived that was their future, was all about teaching people how to work together in teams, teamwork. So that seed was already there. But then after Herman's death, something really kicked in for me where I just went, this work has to continue, and it has to continue in a new form. And so my lava kicked in and went, Okay, so what is it that we're actually leaving behind? What are we burning through to create new landscape here? What is the new landscape? And that's when it really crystallized for me that it's not about healing or fixing anything anymore. It's not about therapy. It's actually about creation. And it's about using your body for the purpose it's designed for, and having it and working with any dysfunction that arises, because we all go into dysfunction. We all go out of flow, throughout our lives, working with it in a way that doesn't have to be fixed, but we just, with awareness, move from out of flow into flow again and back and forth. So that was, I guess, my kind of way of seeing the future with psychosomatics. And then it had to be a co-creation, because it's not about that old Piscean model, Age of Pisces, which is about having a guru on a pedestal doing the teaching. It's so limited now to have one teacher in the room. Everyone's a teacher. So that's why I love, group work and the immersion and business by nature membership, because it's all, everyone's feeding that collective wisdom. So, and then there's also the element of fun that has to come in for me, because, healing and therapy has gotten so serious, and that's that's missing the point, because if it's not lighthearted, it's not integrated yet. It's still in density. So once it reaches the heart and it can be lighthearted and we can laugh things off, then we know we're integrated. That's how I see it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What I find so amazing is that I live in a house behind a gate, and I'm very much in family. And I used to YouTube a lot about 6 years ago, and I've gone silent, and I haven't gone on a Facebook Live nor a video for a very long time. All of a sudden, I'm Facebook Living, I'm videoing, and I'm about to do a show where you're going to get us to do a skit.
Yep.
So all of a sudden, where's my fear gone? Where's my doubt gone? Where's my over-analyzing back and forwards about should I, shouldn't I? Where is it's just disappeared. It's all of a sudden I'm on the train and I'm racing forward. I'm on the lava train. And anytime that I get frightened, it's like I've got you girls, the sistership, which apparently there's a sistership group. I found out today. I'm all about women right now, all the friends. And I'm not scared anymore. And I'm really, really excited about the show because I'm ready to get loose.
Yeah, that's awesome. Woo! That's what we want to hear.
Yeah. So
that's so cool.
What is that?
Well, but that you've just described, that's when you have when there's a calling, you just all of a sudden are doing something you never saw coming and you never prepared for, and it's like, okay, I'm doing this now. You were called to step up, so here you are.
So this leads me to private Natalie.
Uh-oh.
What's Natalie's? Yeah.
Oh shit.
Let's go into Natalie's mind or Natalie's processes. What's a day in the life of Natalie like? Come on.
Usually, okay, so most days there's some form of magic, some kind of download or message from the universe, or a bird will speak to me, or I will have a dream that I receive information from, or I'm channeling something from a crystal, or I'm speaking to a dead person, or I'm a 2911 if you know anything about numerology for the ones out there, and I've only started to recently understand what that means. So I get a lot of information from the universe, so to speak, and my whole life revolves around the information I get and what I do with it, what I create with it. So I'm a nature freak, so every day pretty much I'm out in the desert at the moment, and communing with the nature devas, or talking to the elements, something. And I'm in creation mode most of the time, unless I'm in a death cycle, which is when I'm in destruction mode. I'm creating something. So that's really the essence of lava, is it has to keep moving. If you don't keep the flow moving, that creative flow moving, it ends up destroying you. It really burns you on the inside. So I'm quite an intense person to keep up with, and I can seem pretty much batshit crazy sometimes because of all this information coming at me. So yeah, my friends know this about me and they tolerate it very well.
Yeah. I really love, we recently did a video blog on our YouTube channel on anger and rage. And I really love how you opened my mind to rage and it being fuel and anger being fuel for creation. And I actually used that in the session yesterday with one of my clients who's a very successful person in his own right. But just to have that understanding, we've all seen a fire burn and we've all seen a fire rage and we see what happens. And it's something, what is it? I think Angelique uses the term think, feel, do. It's like it takes us through everything, you know, into the physical. And we can relate to that so we can digest it. Well, I can digest it. Most people can.
Yep.
Yes, it's fantastic what you're doing.
Yeah, terrifying a lot of people, but it's okay. That's the way it is.
I think that we're all going to keep ourselves accountable, and
yeah.
I feel very held in this group. Mm-hmm. I feel very held, and because of that, I think we can show up in our innocence and our vulnerability and in our strengths and in our little inner child and our fun and our sexiness, and I think that's a wonderful thing.
Yes.
Because there's no mask.
There's no mask. And also when you put, you know, creators who are in their power, in their creative power together, they actually help each other rise up in their creative power. So I get to be more of lava. You get to be more of lake. Feeling is, you know, more of soil. So it's actually, it allows you to stay in your lane of creation. You don't have to blur those lines. So that's actually what I love the most about co-creation is you get to not only be more of yourself and really in it, in your mode of creation, but you get to see others like epitomized in theirs. So
yeah,
I love that.
Which is just heart opening.
It really
because I've realized too, by you becoming fully lava and by me becoming fully lake, we both rise. You know, we're both full.
Yep.
And oh my gosh, and Jillian, just the magic of her, understanding her now is huge. It's like I said to her on the spiritual day, I think we're having the spiritual panel, and she said, I don't want to do spiritual panel. We said, no, you have to sit on the spiritual panel because you're like the rock. We're all going to spring off you.
Yeah, that's it. And Jillian's a rock, you know, because her two types are soil and fire. So fire galvanizes the soil, like it turns it to rock, makes it hard. So she is solid as a rock. It's so her nature. Yeah.
Yeah. All right, my love. So what do I want to say to everybody who's watching or is going to watch this? Tune in to the Psychosomatics Collective.
Woo! We lost ya. Right at the end.
Anything?
Oh, I don't know what's going on, but we're losing the connection and we must be finished. I don't know what you were saying. Anyway, folks, I don't know if I'm still live, but thanks for watching and tune into the Psychosomatics Collective and we will hopefully see you live at the event. That would be very
done.
indeed. We're done!